So XDefiant's future is something that seems to always be in motion, with still so much stuff on the horizon, so much stuff that we're looking forward to. But as always, leaked items can be found that point towards a sort of direction in the future that we can see on the near horizon. Today, I want to take some time to discuss the newly leaked details about XDefiant that you should be aware of as we go further into Season 1 and what you can expect along that way. So drop your thoughts as we go along, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and make sure to subscribe if you'd like to stay up to date with all things XDefiant, Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, as well as other FPS content. Lots of cool stuff coming that I don't think you guys will want to miss, and I'd love to have in the community. Finally, only if you'd like to support, you can use code Espresso in the in-game shop or on battle passes in XDefiant, but absolutely do not feel pressured if you don't want to. But anyways, let's get into it. So firstly, as with all leaked discussions, unfortunately what is mentioned, can't put it on screen for you, but if there's any references, I'll leave the links down there in the description below to where these are sourced. The information coming from TX Limited and UB Leaks, two prominent leakers in the XDefiant space that have a solid track record of getting things right. So at the very least, while things in game dev can change, and they can either be altered in time frame, changed entirely, or happen exactly the same, it's at least worth hearing out at this point. So first, let's talk about some stuff that's kind of smaller. Let's get that out of the way. Firstly, free-for-all is coming soon. This is something we've seen teased in the game files for a little while now, but it's been progressively building and building to where it seems like it's right on the precipice of being added into the game in a live capacity, where it's something you can play in public matches, you can earn XP, do your challenges for masteries, and all that kind of stuff. Seems like it's right around the corner. There is no ETA here as of recording this, but it seems like with this progressive build that it should be coming soon. Additionally, there were also new references of new anime skins coming into XDefiant in a sort of new theme for the shop items, or what may be in the battle pass later on in Season 2, 3, and beyond. But unlike COD, I think this kind of makes more sense. Not only because they apparently very clearly sell, so from a business perspective, it makes sense, but also because it doesn't necessarily, like, air quote, break the immersion in this game as opposed to a Modern Warfare title. This game is a very kind of nonsensical game. It doesn't take itself too seriously, which is one of the reasons why I personally like it. It's just a fun game that just has fun with itself, and it's not something that's like a gritty game that's rooted in a sort of realistic storyline. Even though it is still an arcade shooter, as COD is, it is something that I do totally understand, where people are like, why are we not having more milsim operators? So I get that. The image I saw, now removed, if I'm remembering correctly, first showed the skin on an AA-12, so we'll see what comes of that. But that's, again, some of the smaller stuff that was recently found. But next, let's talk about a few things that add to the game over the course of time. And I mean that firstly in the way of daily login rewards were found in the game files, pointing towards text messages in the game code saying log in daily to win this reward. Big fan of this kind of stuff, even though it may not be for everybody. I know that specifically with Call of Duty, I've talked about the ways to elongate player retention, and I think rewarding players not only just like this, but in other ways is absolutely a better way to do it than what Call of Duty has been attempting in matchmaking manipulation. But what I'll absolutely give props to this year is for Sledgehammer's inclusion of so many things like this. Events, challenges, they had daily rewards at 1.2, which is another great way to, again, actually reward the player for their playtime. Anything that actually allows you to feel like it's worth jumping on and that your time is valued, I think is a great way to do that, in my opinion. So any way that XDefiant is actually making your time valued by rewarding you for playing the game, I can get on board with that. Now, I'd imagine that the rewards wouldn't be anything too crazy, kind of probably in line with other stuff we've seen either in the free tiers of the battle pass, some Twitch drops like we've seen in the past, but it really also comes down to the rewards set and how long they want to make this. So like, if you have to log in 7 days to get 7 rewards, that'll probably be across the span of like 14 to 21 days. And if that's the case, you only have to fill 7 different rewards in that space, as opposed to maybe there's 21 daily login rewards across the entirety of the season or something like that. If it's something like 7 days and 7 rewards, you could probably guess it'd be like a player card, an emote, a battle pass, and a weapon XP booster, probably a player uniform, maybe an emote set in there, and then I'd say the final reward is like a weapon skin or something. And actually, that's 7 right off the top of my head there that could absolutely be a realistic option for these kind of things. So I'm curious to see when these will be added, what duration of time they'll last, and what will actually be added as a result, just for simply logging in and playing the game. Now, the next thing that has leaked is something that is, I don't really know how to react to this because there's just not enough information. On one hand, it could be something that looks like it's trying to over monetize the game. On the other, it could be something that might actually offer some benefit. But again, there's not enough details. But there's mentioned in the game files of a new VIP subscription service where players would get rewarded for X coins over time. According to leaker UB Leaks, it's going to be similar to 1 X coin per hour. So if offered for a season, it grants you 2,500 X coins every 90 days. Now, I'd imagine this is something that back catalogs as well if you were to end up getting this whenever it does get added into the game, because, I mean, if it's truly measured in time after launch, you'd never actually get the full window of granted X coins unless you got it in that first hour that it was available. That wouldn't make sense, so I'd imagine it's just like every season you get 2,500 X coins or something like that, but it's honestly kind of weird if that's all there's going to be. Like, unless it's substantially cheaper, I don't personally see the point of it coming down to why wouldn't I just buy the X coins outright? Like, why would you prepay if there's not really anything else associated with it? To which I kind of imagine that there would be more stuff associated with it. Like, it's been compared to GTA Plus, which, while not for me and probably plenty of other people, if this were to happen at XDefiant, it would probably offer more benefit than just X coins. GTA Plus grants additional properties, vehicles, clothing, bonus events, discounts, and more in GTA. But what that could translate to in XDefiant, I mean, who knows? Most I could think of is perhaps exclusive skins, maybe additional boosters would be worth it, but again, who knows? I don't know that I'd expect this in the very near future, but at minimum, like maybe a month or two down the line, my personal guess is maybe at the earliest Season 2 we'd see this introduced, but that's just a hunch. As mentioned before, unlike Call of Duty and the 20 years of marketing patterns that have been set up across that franchise, there's no real precedence here for this kind of stuff just yet. So it's really all just shots in the dark and guessing when this would make sense in a logical perspective instead of based off of any historical fact. Now, beyond that, we did learn that private matches are being worked on even further, and those are getting closer to being added. I've said it before, but I'm probably excited for this for reasons that most of the general public doesn't care about. For me, things like thumbnail screenshots and whatnot, but if you're a fan of just exploring maps, playing with friends offline, whatever the case, this will be your way to be able to do so. And then one cool thing that was also found was that controller button remapping now has references in the game files as well. That was added in the most recent update as of earlier today. And honestly, that's pretty cool. While it might not necessarily be for me, I'm fine with my standard button layouts, but a lot of people like to customize that kind of stuff to a perfectly unique, tailored option for your button layout. And you should hopefully be able to have the opportunity to do so in the near future with that. Now, that said, that's the most recent leaks here. There very well could be more coming as of this weekend that we may discuss, just because tomorrow we have an update coming that's already been detailed by Mark Rubin. Now, we saw that emergency update come into play last week. This week, though, is more so going to focus on some additional changes, but also it's also going to include some weapon tuning, as mentioned by Mark Rubin. So I'm curious to see what those will entail, what changes are made. Obviously, the big contenders for weaponry are like your AK, ACR, and the usual suspects. So I'm wondering if those will take any sort of hit at all to incentivize play with either other weapons in particular or just other weapons overall. We'll have to wait and see. Tomorrow we'll, of course, have more coverage on what that update will change. You can stick it here on the channel for that kind of stuff, but that for right now is we're going to wrap it up. Just want to fill you guys in on a little bit more information about the future of XDefiant that has been recently found. So let me know your thoughts down below. What do you guys think of these changes and potential future updates coming to the game? Like it, dislike it, whatever the case, let me know your thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And of course, make sure to subscribe for more XDefiant coverage, as well as use code Espresso in the shop if you'd like to support the channel a little further. But for now, that's what we're going to call it. Thanks so much for watching. My name has been Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.